Okay, so I was not planning on doing the video for today this early. I wanted to wait until the end of Pacers Bucks and Thunder Pelicans, but given the way that Mavs loss went to the Clippers, where yes, I think it was a disaster, especially because Kawhi did not play, even if the Mavs did end up getting it to a 12-point loss. Yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it for a bit. And yes, I picked Dallas to win. Of course, the big thing was the first half. They went down by 1,000,000 points, and Luka and Kyrie eventually had their normal stat lines. They were both great in the second half. Kyrie 20 points in the third quarter, the whole thing. I get it. But again, a lot of that was the second half. And in the first half, we saw the Clippers switching defense, slowing down the Mavs offense just on regular half-court possessions where they're taking an extra second or two to just get into whatever they're going to get into. We also saw Zubac, just in general being a beast, and we'll talk about him more in a second, but him being a deterrent around the rim as the Mavs role players were dared to make plays, they just couldn't deal with Zoo. And then after that, we saw the Clippers daring P.J. Washington, Dante Exum, Derrick Jones Jr., Maxi Kleber, all of these guys to beat them, whether it's from three, whether it is off the dribble and, getting a floater or a layup or whatever. The one play that summed it up for me was a play where Kyrie ran a screen action with Kleber on the left-hand side. They put two to the ball on Kyrie. I think this was after Amir Coffey switching onto Kyrie, so even the initial action didn't really go anywhere for him. And then Cleveland makes a decent play to P.J. Washington in the corner, but then he's left wide open as well. And it just kind of captured the whole thing for me. We were like, yeah, the Clippers, they're going to dare these guys play after play to beat them. Now, on top of that, we did see in the first half there Plumlee switch onto Luka one time and hold up really well on a play where I think Luka, he either missed it at the rim or he threw it to Exum in the corner, and then Exum took it off the dribble, and then he tried to make a layup, and then it didn't go in. Or it was Zoo who switched onto Luka, and then it was that. They both had good possessions in the first half switching onto Luka. I know in the second half there was that play where Luka had Zoo switched onto him. He made a step back too. But yeah, one more play just to kind of sum it up for you where Kyrie is driving on it. Again, I think it was Coffey who was switched onto him, and he drives, and then PG's helping from the corner. And then you got Zoo waiting around the rim. It's a very quick pass to Dante Exum, and then eventually, the pass got deflected. It turns into a Dante Exum 3 that the Clippers were not really scared of at all. And then in the second half, Dallas, they tried, some Kleber at center. And the Kleber thing, I get it. Kleber will take some threes. I don't think the Clippers are really terrified of Kleber from three. There was one three he had where they basically just told him go ahead, and he didn't make it, right? But still, just from him spotting up at the three-point line and all that, it does open up the floor a little bit more than their other big guys, but they also need those other big guys. And I'll get to this in a second, Zoo he killed Gafford and Lively, man. Okay, but there was a little bit of that. We did see, to open up the third quarter, you had, some Kyrie, Gafford, empty corner pick and roll that was good. You had Luka posting up on Terrence Mann very early in the second half, and it was a flip to Kyrie for a three because he's one pass away. So there were some adjustments there. And again, they made the game respectable because Luka and Kyrie just were Luka and Kyrie in the second half. But again, we know what happened in the first half. And as far as the Clippers offense, I think Harden getting downhill as much as he did is definitely the most encouraging thing. He had some step backs. He had a step back over Kleber. He had a step back over, I think, Luka early on. But he also got by Luka a couple times on some switches. He beat Exum on one that I remember. And then you had Zubac, who just gave the Mavs all types of problems, man. He had post scores over Gafford where he's backing him down. He's got floaters over Lively, putbacks, and making him pay if they put two to the ball on PG, and he's just kind of bumping Kyrie out of the way underneath the rim to finish. That was the biggest thing about Zoo. Not just the fact that his stat line was great, but also just looking at it, Dallas, they looked really just small trying to deal with him. Yeah, no, Zoo was great. I definitely should have given Zoo more of a spotlight in my series preview. So yeah, now as far as, what can Dallas take away from this? The first thing they can just tell themselves is the Clippers shot 50% from three, and I imagine the Mavs will still dare Russ and Terrence Mann and Coffey to beat them from outside. And what the Clippers will tell themselves is we did not have our best player, and we made them look horrible in the first half. And we got it to the point where they did not play either one of their top two centers 20 minutes. So yeah, now some quick things just on the other stuff. In the case of Celtics Heat, Jimmy's not here, and I don't know what to tell you. That's my take on the series. Turns out Gobert was switching on defense a little bit more than I even said he was when I was talking about it in that video. And also, I guess Bucks, Pacers, and Pelicans, Thunder will just be the next vid. We'll talk about those games there. Unless something insane happens and I just got to talk about it right away.